Hello and welcome back. We're continuing with some of these videos from the mechanics statistics paper S, which is consists of quite hard questions. As I did the question, I highlighted a few questions from these papers, which are short and suitable for video. And I think from the statistics, I decided to do two questions. I've done question 6 already, which was on the binomial distribution. This time is a Venn diagram question. That's question 7 on the paper. I think you can actually see we've got two events. It's total abstraction. It's giving us 3 bits of information about different sections of the Venn diagram, and it says work out a particular section of the Venn diagram for 10 marks. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to record down what bits of information we are being given here, and we're being given that the probability of A or not B is 0.92. The probability of not A or B is 0.5. A probability of not A, all the O's, is 0.88. And is asking us, question mark, what's the probability of not A and not B? Equals question mark. So this is basically what the question is asking. This particular question and this type of questions, I mean, they could have given us, first of all, instead of one of these, the probability A not given B or something silly like that. They have a standard technique, and the technique that I use, the standard technique, I'm going to illustrate for this particular question. However, for this particular question, there's a better technique purely because of all these O's in there, which I will also show you. I want to show you 2 different methods for this particular one. And I want to say something about this symbol. Okay, the A or B and the A and B. Okay, from experience, personal experience, students, 95% of the students cannot correctly identify, not obviously if it's just A or B, let's say something like that or something like that, cannot actually cope with this. Okay, while 95% of the people, if not more, cope, not cope. And this is basically what makes this question very difficult is this bits here, all the O's. They make no sense to most people. So the way I will deal with something like that is I will fill a Venn diagram and form some equations. I mean, a Venn diagram consists of 2 intersecting circles, of course. It consists of 4 regions, really, in general. So let's move my pen gun. Here you go. So I'm going to mark it here. So we got, that's my A, that's my B. Do I put these numbers? Clearly not. I'm going to call this bit X, Y, Z, and W. It's 4 numbers. And I'm going to form some equations. Okay. The first method consists of actually identifying what is A or not B. So first of all, equation number 1. The probability A or not B is equal to 0.92. I'm going to make an attempt to actually show you how you'll need to be thinking. So A is okay, so X plus Y. So these have been picked and they're out of that. Or if you're not a B, so from what we go left, if you're not a B, plus W is equal to 0.92. That's equation number 1. Actually, I'm going to write it here. And this I will be removing as I'm moving from one to the other. So the first attempt is to actually try to explain a little bit, if you haven't seen this before or if you're a little bit weaker, what does it actually mean and how to pick it up from a Venn diagram. So I'm going to the second quantity. That's an OR. Probability of not being an A. So if you're not an A, we are picking z plus w. And now, from what we got left, so we have picked those two bits here. So what else is there to be picked? So we picked the z and the w, so they have gone. Or if you're a b, left from x and the y, so plus the y, that's the only bits there, is equal to 0.5. So that's the second equation. Z plus w plus y equals to 0.5. Equation number 3. Picking, let's write it down first of all. Pardon me. Not an A. So we have picked everything which is not an A, so all the B's, so that's Z plus W. And these two, since I picked them, they've gone now. So what have I got left in this particular case? I have to pick from these two, from the X and the Y, not being a B. So if you're not being a B, that means we're picking just the X, because of course the Y is a B. So we have a third equation. Z plus W plus X is 0.88. But now we have a problem. We have in here 4 unknowns and 3 equations. Of course, there's always a fourth equation in this, which says all these numbers or quantities, X plus Y plus Z plus W, must be equal to 1. And now if I solve and find each region that the question is asking me, I can definitely finish off my problem. So the question is now, what is the best way of solving these equations? We can't do it by elimination. My solution probably would have used elimination because the standard method. But if you look at perhaps, you can see little patterns here, Z plus W, which appears here, here, and here. So you can actually do other stuff in there. For example, if you look at this particular equation, we have Z plus W is 0.5 minus Y. Z plus W from that equation is 0.88 minus X. So quite clearly, and from this one again, we have again Z plus W. And Z plus W now is 1 minus X plus Y minus X minus Y. I'm making mistakes, so I didn't put a bracket in there. And from something like that, perhaps you can subtract and you can get bits of information. But for me personally here, I will actually do a proper elimination and label the equations as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Take one of them, it will hardly matter. I'm going to pick, I don't know, equation number 2. Make W the subject. So number 4, sorry, what did I say? Number 2, and I'm writing number 4. Make W the subject. And this will become 0.5 minus Z minus Y. So that is my W. Where did I pick W? W, if you look at what I'm trying to find, I'm not an A and I am not a B. This is the angry guy. This guy is very, very angry. He's waving his fingers and saying that, listen, man, I'm not an A, and just in case you thought, I'm not a B either. So it's very easy to identify this one. In fact, this one is W. Ends are very easy to identify. So I'm making W the subject, so eventually it's the W that I'll be trying to find. Okay, we're going to put that into the other 3 equations. So X plus Y plus 0.5 minus Z minus Y is equal to 0.92. Z plus the W, so that's 0.5 minus Z minus Y plus another X is equal to 0.88. And lastly, X plus Y plus Z plus the W, so that's all of that, is equal to 1. And there's a few cancellations now to take place in there. I'm sure the y's will go from this one. From this one we'll lose the z's. And do we lose anything else? No. And we have the y's disappear from this one. Oh, and of course the z's disappear from this one. So this has become very very easy, because now the system of equations has become x plus 0.5 is equal to 1. So x must also be 0.5. So we have found this bit there. And then if we look at this, it doesn't really matter which one we're looking at. We found the x. So we got x minus z, I'm looking at the first equation, is equal to 0.42. 0.5 minus z is 0.42, which means your z on this side will be 0.08. So we found this quantity here. And if we have, of course, the z, oh gosh, should I find the y from the other one? I'm just being stupid, really. It doesn't matter, we'll find them all. So x, and that's the one I've just done. So we will look at which one we haven't used. Is this one here. So that says x minus y, because we want the y, is equal to 0.88 take away 0.5, which is 0.38. So looking at this equation here. And of course x we have found. Let's start circling some stuff. 0.5 is equal to 0.38. So our y is 0.12. And then we can return just right at the top there and a w, which of course is the probability of not A and not B, is of course 0.5 minus z, which is 0.08, minus y, which is 0.12. So probability of A, sorry, of not A and not B is going to be 0.3. A rather nice number. And this is how we could have attempted this problem. This is a standard method when you're being given loads of information. This wasn't too bad actually, because as I just explained in the beginning, you can actually use an alternative, which I want to show you. But if you start having some conditional, so they replace this with a conditional, this now is the method to be using and just solving this kind of equation. So at the moment, let's rub off. So this is a second attempt, but with a different approach. And this uses what I normally call the master formula in probability when I'm teaching. That's what I call it to my students. And this is what it's actually saying. Is actually, and I'll tell you what this formula actually does. It says, of course, we all know it. I don't know if it has a name or whatever. And the most important thing is to understand, what does it actually do? What it does, it actually switches between and or. Or is a pain, but and is good. And of course, we hardly ever use it. Well, no, we do use it like this, but it's more useful when we have it like that. So if you look at this bit here, which is dashed here, all the B's will be dashed, of course, correspondingly. So let's start using it. And again, I don't know if we really want to use the Venn diagram. Let's draw it again. Might have to use it again. It might be useful to actually not use it necessarily, but kind of have it for reference. It might be useful at some point to refer to it. So, and I'm going to do the same notation. So an x, y, x. Actually, we are going to use it because I'm going to go from this line here. So the probability of this is 0.92. So I'm using this formula now, but I don't really need to know what is that, the x plus y plus z or whatever. I don't care what it is because I'll be using the end. So I know this fact, 0.92. Probability of A, which is of course x plus y, looking in the Venn diagram. That's the A, plus the probability of not being a B. So not being a B is x plus w. And x plus w minus the probability I'm an A and I am not a B. Very, very angry. So I am an A, but don't you think I'm a B? So he's very upset if you call him a B. So it's just the X. And of course, if you look what happens here, the X's cancel and you get Y plus X plus W is equal to 0.92. Okay, so if you look now at this particular question and see what is actually has just taken place in there, it says these three things, the Y, the X, and the W, 1, 2, 3 is 0.92. We found our Z straight away. It has to add up to 1. So Z is 0.08. And now I need to go and use another statement. So let's take off the dashes. That's the original formula. And what can we get from this particular line now? We need to dash the A's. A dashed, A dashed, A dashed. And of course, this is now need to be rewritten correctly. And what we have? Well, that's 0.5 given in the question. Probability of not being an A. So that is Z plus W. Z plus W. Probability of B. Probability of B is plus Y plus Z minus. Let's attempt to read it backwards. Look, I'm a B, and don't you think I'm an A? I'm a B, so I'm one of these guys, but I'm not an A. So it's just, of course, just a Z. And if you see what happens in there, the Z's will cancel. And again, we have three quantities. This time we have, of course, Z, W, and Y, Z, W, and Y, and therefore the rest to make up the 1, and these three quantities are 0.5, add up to 0.5. So, of course, the X now, which is what we left, just double checking that I made a mistake, Z plus W plus Y, these three quantities are 0.5, so the X must be 0.5. I don't remember the numbers from before that we got. Hopefully it is the same numbers. So that's all done. We're about to attempt now the third one. Why am I rubbing that off? I don't know, because the third one have everything dashes, dash, 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 dash. Okay, that is being quoted at 0.88. 0.88. Probability of not an A. Everything outside the A is, of course, Z plus W. Probability not a B. Everything outside the B is X plus W this time. Minus, that's the angry guy, the one that waves his hands. I'm not an A and I'm not a B. So, okay, chill, you are not an A or a B. And this is W, therefore. And W is cancel. So again, three quantities add up to 0.88. Which are the three now? X, Z, and W. So this is another common section Y that we left with. This add up to 0.88. So this now, the Y must be 0.12. And therefore, we found the probability not an A and not a B, which of course is the W. And the W, if you look at just adding the numbers now, is 0.5 there. This is the Y, which turned out to be 0.12. The Z, 0.08, 8, 20, 70, and therefore W is, of course, 0.30, which, of course, is the required quantity from the Venn diagram, which is exactly the same number that we got from before. I do apologize, I'm going a little bit fast on this videos because I've got quite a lot of workload to do over the next few days. So, but I hope you did follow it. This is not standard kind of like Venn diagrams in the sense that, you know, you just do it in a spoon-feedy way, one bit at a time. You have to have a grand plan. Do not forget method number 1, because the method number 1 is the one that works with absolutely everything. This is quite clever really here, using this quantity here and eliminating in turns. I hope you got something out of the video. That's from the Mechanics Statistics paper. Quite a challenging question. I'm going to be signing out, and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.